Hi guys, today I have a really exciting series I'm going to be starting. I was recently chosen to be a featured designer in a holiday fashion show, and I haven't done a fashion show since I was in college, which was back in 2022. So I'm super excited about this opportunity, and I decided I want to document my whole process. So I'm going to be showing you guys the whole process of me making this mini collection. For this fashion show, each designer is required to make a 6-look mini collection. I already have 2 of the pieces back home in Jersey that I am planning to include in my mini collection, and while I'm still here in PA, I am making the other 5 pieces. And honestly, it's actually a little bit more than 5 because some of my looks I'm making are not just one dress, but they're like a full outfit. So I'm going to show you guys my whole process, starting with my sketches. So first I'm going to show you guys my sketches, and then I'm going to explain to you my theme and my inspiration for this collection. Those are my sketches, and I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do for this collection, and I sort of circled everything around the Renee dress, which I've been promoting a lot on my Instagram. So for this collection, since the show is in December, I thought it would make the most sense to do a Christmas kind of vibe. However, I didn't want to stop there. I really wanted to draw inspiration from something personal, and my grandmother is someone who is really important to me. So I thought it'd be cool to sort of draw inspiration from her fashion sense and from the time of when she grew up. My grandmother is also a big music person, and she loves Motown music, so I thought, why not mix all 3 of the things together? Christmas is also her favorite holiday, so I thought that would be the perfect trio to try to put into this whole mini collection. My grandmother was born around the time where I feel like music was at its highest, and I really love the music from the 60s and 70s specifically, and Motown is just such a vibe. So my 3 big inspirations in this collection are Motown music, Christmas, and my grandmother. After going through a lot of pictures and just researching, looking at old pictures of my grandmother from back in the day, but also just researching pictures from the 60s and 70s specifically, I'm pretty sure, actually I don't want to give her age away, so I'm not going to say how old she was during that time. But yeah, I really was just researching on Pinterest, on Google, on Vogue. All kinds of fashion and music research was done for this, and I really want it to be something fun, so I thought using sequins would be a really cool and just something new for me to do, because I've never really done something so like bold like that. I don't think, at least I feel like I haven't. So I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to be able to make some things that I haven't normally considered making. There are some pieces in this collection, as I mentioned, that I already have saved for this mini collection, so I don't have to really worry about making those 2 items. But for the rest of the items on my list, I'm super excited about making them. A couple of them I'm a little nervous because I haven't necessarily done something like it before, and I am trying to figure out the best way for me to start draping and pattern making since I'm not home, so I do not have my dress form. So I think this will be a really fun experience, and I'm glad I'm documenting it so that you guys will be able to like see how this all comes into fruition. And once we get closer to the fashion show, I am going to also do a separate vlog where I just vlog my whole experience there. The show is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm planning to be there for my birthday. My birthday is December 14th, so it should be a really fun trip. Out of all of the looks I have to make, I think the easiest one for me to do right now would be the Renee dress. I'm making a version of that dress in a white velvet fabric, which I'm so excited because I think it's gonna look so gorgeous as an all-white dress. And I imagined it before to do that and like sell it as like one of the options for the colors for the Renee dress, but I didn't end up doing it, so I'm excited I get to do it for this show. So we're going with this Renee dress for the first look that we're gonna make. I'm honestly so excited for this next month of sewing because I feel like it's just gonna be a bunch of fun projects that I get to make, and I'm just so excited. And December is my favorite month, so I think it'll be a good month of content for me. So before I came to PA, which I did mention in my last video, I went shopping to make sure I had all the fabric I needed because I knew I was going to be away for a little bit. So I went shopping in the garment district in New York and I got all of the fabric I needed. As you guys saw in my sketches, I'm pretty much going for, let me take this out, sorry. I had my headphones in because I've been listening to Christmas music to like get in the vibe. Specifically Motown Christmas music, but just Christmas music in general. But like I was saying, as you can tell from my sketches, the vibe or the colorway of my collection is red and white. I sort of just wanted to stick with the classic colors. One, because my grandmother's favorite color was red, but also because I just feel like it fits with my whole concept. So I have a lot of white fabric and some red fabric, some red and white trimming and accessories, and you guys are going to see that all unfold in the next few videos. I think I'm also going to split this video up probably into two, between the 3 different looks, or 3 looks in one video, 3 looks in another video, just so it's not super long, but we'll see how it turns out. First fabric we're going to work with is going to be this white velvet. You guys have no idea how excited I am to make this Renee dress in a white velvet because I had the idea of doing this before, like I was saying, but I just didn't end up doing it, and now I finally have the opportunity to make the Renee dress like this, and I just can't wait to see how it's gonna look. My idea with wanting to have the Renee dress in white is that I'm sort of seeing it as like a Christmas angel, or just like an angel in general, since it's like a white dress. And I'm trying to decide also what kind of pearl jewelry accessory I want in the back, because usually I pick between gold and silver, and I think with this white I feel like gold would probably be the best option, so I think I'm gonna lean towards using that. For this white velvet, I didn't get like a pure white. I'm gonna show you guys a better angle of this in a second, but I didn't get like a pure white. I got pretty much like an off-white. There's like a yellow undertone with this kind of white, and I didn't want to get a pure white because the way I just didn't really like the look of like a super bright white compared to the red that I'm using. So I'm sort of just thinking about it as a whole. So all the white that I'm using in this collection is going to be pretty much like an off-white, or just like a more cream kind of white. So not like super bright, like not like Snow White, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna start laying this out and start cutting, because I already have the pattern for the Renee dress, so we're gonna start cutting that pattern out and start sewing. I probably could finish this in a day, so let's just get to work. All of my family is out right now, so this is like the most ideal time for me to film anything. So I'm going to talk fast and just show you guys what I need to show you. Show you guys the fabric better, like I was saying. I'm gonna lay it out better in the next clip, but this is just to show you guys the color so you can see how it's more of like an off-white compared to a super creamy, a super bright white. So yeah, this is the fabric. Stretch velvet is what I'm using. Bro, I'm so excited for this. Like, you guys don't understand. I can already envision it right now. And I'm also getting to pick my models as well. So I'm doing a model call on this coming Sunday, I think is when we're having it. And since I'm not there in person, we're doing it virtually for me. So I'm going to be picking my models and I'm just so excited for all of this. So, okay, let's just get into cutting and making this Renee dress. And I'm gonna bet on myself and say that I can get this done by the end of today. It's currently 3:31, so let's see if I can get it done. So I'm now cutting the back of the dress, and I was so scared because I was laying it out and I almost thought I didn't have enough, but I literally have just enough fabric, so I can't mess up now. I'm gonna cut out the back and then I'm gonna cut out the neck piece and all the ruffle pieces. Okay guys, before I get into the sewing, it's the next day, and yesterday I really ended up just doing a lot of the cutting for the dress that I'm working on. So today, now I can sew the dress together, and I want to finish it today, at least try to. But before I do that, I just want to give you guys a rundown of all the fabric I bought so that you guys know how much everything was and also how much I got of everything at the start of this series. So to start off, I got 3 yards of red velvet, and all of this fabric that I'm talking about is fabric I'm using for like more than one look. But I got 3 yards of red velvet, and it's the same color as the circle dress I made last year. And then, as you guys saw yesterday, I got 3 yards of the white velvet, and then I got, I'm pretty sure I got 6.5 yards of this white satin. It's like a cream satin. It's so beautiful. And then 3.5 yards of the stretch silver fabric. Two and a half yards of the sequin fabric, and I don't really want to take it out the bag because I don't want the sequins to get everywhere, so I'm going to show you guys through the bag because it's better that way. It's like really beautiful. And I got 8 yards of this white ribbon, and it was 75 cents. So, or 75 cents a yard. So yeah, I'm gonna put the pricing for everything on the screen as well so you guys can see how much everything was and what my grand total was. Now I'm gonna get to sewing the white version of the Renee dress. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a little montage of me sewing that together. Okay, so I tried on the Renee dress the other day and I'm so mad at myself because I realized I cut the back, well basically I cut the front piece the wrong way. So when you're cutting with velvet, you have to make sure that you're cutting it in the same direction as the pull, and the pull is basically like it's the way that they describe velvet fabric, and I'm gonna insert a video of me like running my hand over velvet to show you guys what I'm talking about. But depending on which way you cut it, the way it shines in the light is a bit different, and so I cut one in the opposite direction as the other, so it looks off, so it just looks really bad. So then I tried to make it up, and I went to the fabric store. I went to 2 fabric stores to try to find any white velvet that might be around here that might be similar to what I was trying to go for, and I cannot find any. So I'm sort of going to have to force myself to take a pause on the Renee dress, which is really frustrating because that was like the most simple one for me to make because I had everything here, and it's like I've been making so many of them, but it's okay. So I'm planning to get that fabric when I go back to New Jersey, so that I can go into the city and get it when I go back home, which is gonna be within the next 6 to 7 days. I'll probably end up going this coming weekend, hopefully, or early next week, I would say. But I have to take a pause on this first look, and I'm like, I really need to pay attention when I'm doing these things. It's like, you think you know what you're doing and you feel so confident in it, and sometimes you are, but sometimes you just forget like the little things, and I just in the moment forgot that was important. So I am going to do that one when I get back home. I'll probably make that like the last look I end up doing, and instead we are going to work on the 2 tops because I think they're the easiest, even though I already did thread all of the white thread because I wanted to like keep it in a way where I could just do all the white pieces first. But I think I'm just gonna start with the red pieces because yeah, those 2 tops are pretty simple. So we are instead going to make the first look that I do look number 4, I'm not doing the whole thing right now because I'm planning to do the skirt when I go back home. So I'm going to just focus on doing the asymmetrical top with the bows in look 4, and then I'm also going to work on the top in look 1 because I have that pattern with me and it's also fairly simple. So we're going to jump into those, starting with the asymmetrical top. This is the side that I cut correctly, and this is the side I cut in the opposite direction, which I should not have done. I feel like you can sort of see it because there's like a distinct color difference if you look closely. I wanted to insert this video because I was looking back and forth and I just wanted to show you guys what I was looking at. I was pretty much just like looking through the whole mini collection to see what next I could do instead, since I have to take a pause on that dress. But yeah, so we're gonna start with the tops in look 1 and look 4. This is the pattern I'm going to use, since now we are moving on to a different design instead, just for now, until I can go back home and get the fabric. So this is the bow top pattern. I brought it from home, and all I have to really do is cut and sew it together. So for that design, I'm using my red velvet fabric. Initially, I wanted to use a sparkly, like, red velvet fabric, but I didn't end up getting that. So this is the fabric we're gonna use. This is really nice soft red velvet. It's the same red velvet that I use for the Renee dress, as well as all the other pieces in my collection will be the same red velvet fabric. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut out the pieces, and start sewing this top. Okay guys, so you'll never believe what just happened. So every time I make patterns, I usually put them in like a manila envelope like this. I thought this was the pattern that I made with the bows, which is why I called it the bow top. But I made another kind of bow top, I think back in like April of this year, and that was the pattern that I put in there. So I don't even have the right bow top pattern that I'm trying to make for this fashion show. So I have one of two options, or one of three options. I could either, one, use the top, because I actually have the top with me that I made like last Christmas, use that as my pattern and just trace off a new pattern so that I have like the exact measurements on pattern paper, add some seam allowance and do that. Two, make it again from scratch and just like remeasure myself, or use the measurements that I can use to make the whole pattern from scratch again, or wait till I get home and use the pattern. So I feel like I should just use this shirt since I already have it with me, and then remake the pattern with pattern paper that I have here. Sorry, I'm like looking around to see like what I'm gonna do, but I think I'm gonna use the shirt that I have since I have it with me, remake the pattern, and then I can move on. Wow, this is so funny because normally I'm like very organized, but I think it's like when I was going on my trip and when I was packing, it was sort of very frantic for unfortunate reasons, which is why, sorry guys, my camera died. But as I was saying, when I was leaving in a rush in some sense, so I wasn't necessarily thinking so clearly on everything, and I guess I just looked at the pattern when I like opened it up. So unfortunately I cannot use that this time, but I am just going to end up recreating the pattern using the top because I have the top here with me. This is the top that I meant to bring the pattern for, but I'm just gonna use it and trace on some pattern paper, and then we can keep moving forward. So hopefully it won't delay me too much. I don't think it will, but I'm just gonna get to it and start cutting and sewing. Just finished cutting all of the pattern pieces. Like that. Okay. I just finished cutting all the pattern pieces. I'm gonna use some scrap fabric to just make a sample before I cut into the final fabric, because I really cannot afford to make any more mistakes. So I'm gonna use the white fabric that I was using for the Renee dress. I have some scrap fabric of that, and I'm gonna just use some of the remainders of that fabric to make a sample of this top. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing because I'm also gonna be adding bows to this top, but I'm just gonna at least stitch the seams to make sure it fits how it should, and then I can move on to the final fabric. This is the sample I just finished. Like I said, I did not hem it because I was just making sure that it fit me well. And it's not bad. I do have some adjustments I want to make so that it fits me exactly how I need it to. It's not terrible. I think I just want to add like higher seam allowance right here, and also right here. So basically the front sides I want to add a higher seam allowance. Honestly, part of me wants to add a higher seam allowance all the way around, but it's not bad. I'm just like so frustrated that I just don't have the original pattern with me, because this should not be this complicated. So I put on the original top that I made, and it actually, I think it fits me exactly how it needs to, the white version. So I'm gonna move along. All I'm gonna do is make sure that when I'm sewing, I'm gonna take, my seam allowance is gonna be a little bit more, so I'm gonna like cinch in a little bit more just so that it fits better. So I'll probably do like 5/8 instead of 1/2 inch, or like maybe like 1/4 more than 1/2 inch, so that it's just a bit more hugging. But I think it actually looks good because since it's stretchy material, it's normal for it to look how it did on me, because when I tried this on, it was the same thing. So I'm gonna move on and cut in the final fabric. I'm probably gonna end up making this into like a regular top and just hem it so that I can still wear it, and I'll probably post pictures of that on Instagram. But I'm gonna go on and cut the final fabric for this top, and it's basically the same thing as this. It's just gonna have white bows instead of black bows. So yeah, we're gonna move on, cut, and finally at least have one top piece of one of my looks done because something needs to happen. I feel like I've been like taking too long to finish any of these looks, so I'm hoping today I can just finish at least this top. I think it looks good. So I'm just gonna hem this top part now, as well as the bottom hem. And then I just have to attach the white bows. I'm back home. The last 2 days were literally the most hectic days ever. We were packing and moving back home from PA because, like I said, I was visiting my grandmother in Pennsylvania. So I'm finally back home in New Jersey and I'm back in my original sewing space. But I don't really want to focus too much on all of that. If anything, I might explain more about that later. But we need to finish this collection. So when I was back in PA, the last thing that we did was finish the top. I hemmed everything, and now all I have to do is add the bows. So I'm just gonna hand sew the bows on, and this will be my first complete piece, which I'm so happy because I literally have like no time and I need to literally put my head down, sew, and get this collection done. So after this, we're gonna do the other top, which I will explain once we get to that point. But for now, we're gonna finish hand sewing and finish this top. This is the final top for look 4. I'm planning to make the skirt probably in the next like 2 designs, I would say. Next, I really want to just get to the next velvet top that I'm making. I feel like it'd make more sense for me to just like focus on some of the easier things. So I'm going to be making the top from look 1 next. But this is the final top for the bow top. I think it came out really cute. And I think I like this one a lot better than the one I did with the black bows, because I think it just like helps it stand out more with it being white bows instead. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this top, and now we're gonna move on to the next look, or the next design. This top also fits better on actual body. When I put this top on myself, it fits me. It looks a little bit big on this dress form, but on a body it looks a lot better. So you guys will see that at the end when I show you guys the whole collection together. Fabric pieces for the flounce top already, and I just showed you guys that whole clip in that little montage you just saw. So all those pieces are cut in the velvet fabric, but when I was cutting it, I was like, I feel like I should line the fabric. So I went to the city yesterday because I already had to buy the fabric that you guys know about, the white velvet fabric, because I messed that up when I was in PA. So I got that fabric, and then I got this lining fabric, which I'm also going to use for another design that you guys will see later. But it's like this really pretty red, and I think it'll look really nice with the red velvet. So I'm going to line this on the inside of the top, just on the bodice piece, so that it's like nice against the skin, and all of the edges and just like raw clippings are enclosed. The skirt doesn't need to be lined, so we only need like maybe half a yard of this. So yeah, so I'm gonna cut the lining pieces and then we're gonna get to sewing. Honestly, I'm sort of in like crunch time because I literally have less than 2 weeks to finish this. So I'm gonna try my best not to talk as much. If anything, it'll mostly be voiceovers, but I'm gonna try to make the rest of this video and the next just me sewing and like a montage of me sewing with music in the background. So yeah, let's just get to finishing this collection. Okay guys, so I'm deciding to work the rest of my collection up here in my room because downstairs there's just a lot going on. So I'm gonna do a lot more of my filming up here for now. I finished sewing yesterday just the bases of the fabric and the lining together for this top. I decided not to use the satin, and I should have thought of that before because I was realizing if I use the satin with this, since the satin isn't stretch, it probably won't be able to stretch as much with the satin attached to it, and I just didn't want to have to deal with it not fitting properly. So I'm lining it with velvet on the back instead, and I just serged the edges, which you guys can see. I just serged the edges. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, so now I can top stitch this piece and then add the skirt, but I'm gonna do the front now because this is the back. So I'm going to serge the front, and then we're going to top stitch all of these seams like all the way around for the front and the back, and then I can stitch them together, the front and the back together, and then add the skirt. So I still have a few steps to go. I'm getting a little nervous because I'm like sort of running out of time, but I have faith if I just stay focused I can get this done. So we're gonna keep it pushing. So the bows are all hand sewn on. Now I'm gonna sew the front to the back, and then I'm going to attach the skirt, the peplum skirt at the bottom. I'm also planning on burning the edges of the bows because they're fraying a little bit, so I'm gonna burn the edges just so that they're secure and they don't fray. So on to the next step. The top is basically done. I'm so happy to finally have 2 of the tops complete in the lookbook. All I have to do is I still need to burn the edges of these bows so that they stop fraying, and I have to hem, but it's basically done. The only thing is I need to stop and work on a different project now that's completely separate from this fashion collection because I'm celebrating my birthday early since I'm going to be out of town for my birthday. Let me like okay, let me put you guys up here. I'm celebrating my birthday early since I'll be out of town, so I have 2 days to work on my outfit, and I'm going to do something really simple and just make a really cute simple dress. I have the fabric with me already. I'm just gonna drape a really quick drape, something like, I just need to get this done because I really have nothing to wear, and I want to at least make that part of my birthday special since I am turning 25. So yeah, I'm going to stop here, and you guys will probably see that video of me making my birthday dress probably later in the month, so look out for that video as well. But after I finish that, the next things that we will be working on will be the white silk pants and the white silk bubble skirt. So by the time I come back, we will start working on the pants. Hey guys, I was just outside, which is why I'm wearing these earmuffs, but I think I'm gonna end the video here instead. I was able to finish the dress I'm wearing for my birthday dinner, which is tomorrow, but there's just been so much going on, and I low-key forgot I should be posting this video tomorrow as well. So I'm gonna end this video here so that I can put out the first half of this video for you guys to see how I'm making this collection. So in the next part of this video, it will be me making the white pants, the white skirt, the sequin dress, the jumpsuit, and the Renee dress. Guys, I literally have like 5 days to finish this. So basically I gotta push out at least like 1 design a day, pretty much. I'm trying to push for like at least 2 designs each day so that I won't have to stress towards the end of next week. Okay, if you want to see how this journey continues, stay tuned for part 2 to see if I'm able to successfully finish. Also stay up to date with my mini series I'm posting on this on my TikTok and my Instagram. I'm just posting reels which are like shorter versions of what this video was. So yeah, pray for me guys, pray for me. What I will say though is that I'm looking at probably for the pants that I'm gonna make in the next video, that's gonna be the first thing we start on. I'm going to use the cloning method, and I'm probably going to clone these pants because I really like how they fit, or these pants. Stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you're enjoying my content, and comment below if you guys think I'm gonna be able to finish in time and what has been your favorite moment so far in this little sewing vlog. Okay, yeah. See you guys next time. Bye!